Good morning. I'm back again. It's good to see you, my friends. All right. Hope you all had a good weekend. We're back Monday morning. We're about to jump into the market. As you can see, for most of the weekend, BTC was on a run. Right now, we're down slightly, and that drop started a few hours ago. Before I jumped on screen, I had a couple of trades in, closed them out before I got on. So you see what it is. We're running hot, made it to we got to 65K. So BTC reached 65,000, and we are, hold on, let me check. Let me double check, make sure this is going over good. If you can hear me in the chat, let me know. If you can see the video, let me know. Back with Market Monday. All right, let me double check the audio and everything. Okay, here we go. All right, so we're looking now at BTC. It's at the bottom, bouncing off of the bottom. We're going to cover a few things today. We're going to recap where the prices are. We're going to look at a couple of new tokens. We're going to look at the tokens that we were following from last week and the week before. We're going to compare notes real quick. And hopefully everybody is up. I noticed over the weekend that SpaceX was up. Going the opposite direction of my prediction. But I'm just saying, hang in there. I think we're going to get there. I think we're going to get to the $50 mark so we can make some real profit on this. But for now, I think it's around, it's hovering around 132. I saw it as high as 135. So that's pretty solid. Now, over the weekend, if you were on the Wednesday stream, I went over blue chips and some of the things that you could do with the blue chips. And if you picked up those blue chips that I mentioned on stream on Wednesday, then you're having a pretty good week. Algorand is looking good. Let's see who else. Not XRP. XRP is down, but Algorand is looking good. Let's go over to coin market cap. And over here on coin market cap, you can see for the last 7 days, BTC is up. BTC is up. Ethereum is up. Pretty much everything except XRP. XRP is down 5% on the week. If I'm not mistaken, last week we were sitting at about 106, 107. I think that was the last time I tracked it. No, I haven't been trading XRP on a daily, so I really don't keep track of the price until I look at everything overall. But when I look at everything overall, I get a pretty clear picture of where this is going. Now, I'm really impressed with Solana being up 3%. That's a shocker. I'm not impressed with Zcash being up 2%. Zcash is on absolute fire. And remember, I mentioned that this is a great one to hold. And the reason why it's so great to hold is it's a privacy coin. So over the next couple of years, you're going to notice that the privacy coins, the privacy coins are going to take off. So if you look right here, Monero is at $393, up 9% for the week, up 0.16 today. For the week, Zcash is up 2.5%. Both of those caps are at 7 and 8 billion. There's a low token supply. The token supply on Zcash, same as it is on Bitcoin. All right. And I want you to remember, the veterans in crypto trade Zcash and Monero. It's just part of it. They've been an important part of the ecosystem from the beginning. Now, Monero circulating supply is only 18 million, so even less than Bitcoin. And you know how I feel about tokens that have a total less than Bitcoin. Well, that's where you want to go if you want to print money, right? So these two have utility. That utility is they allow you to move in silence. So these two are very important to the ecosystem because once you're in, there's really no way to track you, as if you were with some of the other tokens. So these two guys will always be high on my list. I think maybe like 8-9 years ago, I was mining Zcash, so you know it kind of grew on me. All right. Last week we also took a look at Shiba Inu, and I told you guys not interested. Keep it moving. Not interested at all. But these two guys, even though they're already in the billions, I don't like tokens in the billions already. Not a lot of room for growth. But these two guys have utility, and they're privacy tokens. So very valuable. Now, if you look at this chart, look at what you're seeing on Monero. Consistent. It's just going up. It's just going up. And the same with Zcash. And you have to keep in mind, with Zcash, there was a hack on Zcash. I think one of the bridge protocols. So be careful when you bridge your crypto from one blockchain to the next. That's one of the most dangerous things that you can do from a security aspect. Being in security made me focus on this even more. But bridging is risky in a lot of cases because a lot of protocols on chain right now, the security on that bridge just is not what it should be. So try to trade on specific chains. Find a chain that you like, find a token that you like, and just trade that if you're going to trade. When you're switching back and forth every day, every other day, you're going to run into problems. And I'm pretty sure you don't want to run into these problems with your money. So better safe than sorry. Stay away from bridge transactions if you can. Now, another old school token that you should look at is Bitcoin Cash. Again, Bitcoin Cash is at 4.2 billion market cap. I don't like tokens in the billions, but here's an opportunity for you to gain because it has Bitcoin in the name and is one of the oldest, most trusted tokens on chain. It all started with this whole beef between when they were working on the Lightning Network. We had this whole beef going on, and it just split off. There were initially 2 Bitcoin caches, and yeah, it was just a whole mess. a couple of bull runs ago, the whole Bitcoin cache thing was just an absolute mess. But now I think they've gotten it worked out, figured things out. And if you look at the chart over here, look at that. It's similar to Monero, meaning no one's talking about it. But when you look at this chart, well, the chart's just going up. It has been going up. Unlike Stellar, unlike XRP, these are consistently rising. Now, Solana's chart looks pretty good, but you already know how I feel about Solana. I'm not jumping into that rant today. But take a look at, and XRP is actually losing ground on BNB. BNB is steady at 80 billion. XRP 63.79. So let's see, in order for XRP to reach $5, this is going to have to be, what is that, 300 billion? So it's not an easy 5 or a 10x XRP. But like I said, we've already reached out to some developers over there. We're going to be doing security on this chain, but that's a little further down the road. We got to take care of a couple other things first. We're going to launch a couple of things on XRP, but this is troubling. But I think long term, since XRP is already accepted by so many institutions, so many people have already worked XRP into their ecosystem, I think it's a good buy. I think it's a good hold. If you want to swing trade it, I would say there are better tokens to swing trade than XRP. One of those being Solana, because Solana's pretty volatile, moves all over the place. That one's pretty good to swing trade, meaning you'll get these gaps where you can make profit. Another one you need to look at for those same gaps is SUI. So SUI right now is sitting at 69 cents, and the market cap is at 2.8 billion. A lot of room for growth. SUI can easily hit $2, $3, and if I'm not mistaken, SUI was at over $2 not too long ago. So it's but one of the reasons it was at that price, and I think if I'm not mistaken, we applied for a grant with SUI to come over and build, but some other things happened and we weren't able to go over there and do what we want to do. But still love the chain. It's a good chain. It's an active chain, and it's worth taking a look. But again, the market cap's already in billions, so if we do get a 5 or a 10x out, well, I think a 5x on SUI is guaranteed. 10x is going to be a little tougher. 10x means this would have to jump up to almost half the market cap of XRP, and I think it's possible. But if they want to pull that off, what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to create more incentives for developers like they were doing when I initially took a look at SUI. So if they're able to pull that off, then yes, indeed, it's a buy. Buy and hold. Now, let's look at Grandpa. Litecoin. Now, Litecoin has 4 times the supply of Bitcoin, There are 84 million Litecoin, so still a low token supply, under 100 million. So there's still room to grow with Litecoin. A lot of people have fell out of fancy with Litecoin. I don't know why. I mean, it's pretty secure. If you have the equipment to mine it, it's a good mine. It's a good token to mine. Just like Bitcoin Cash, just like Zcash. And when you look at let's go back up here to Zcash, and we'll pull up the chart. Now, when you look at Zcash, you can mine Zcash with GPUs. So if you have a lot of GPUs just sitting around, well, here's a way for you to make some money with them. Because let's go back a little bit. Here's September 25, and look at the price. And this is just last year, August, September. It's around $40, $32. Look at that. Now we're sitting at 500. So if at this time last year you had jumped into Zcash, you had mined Zcash, you had an easy 10x. I'm just saying. And it's a privacy coin, so you really can't hide what you're worth if you're invested in Zcash and Monero. So anybody that's looking to make your crypto, then you don't want anybody watching what you're holding. Here's your option. Jump into Zcash, and it is what it is. And if you got those GPUs laying around, well, dedicate some of that power to the network and help keep it secure. Now, that's our blue chip update. Now, we've been tracking some of these newer risky tokens over on Dex Tools. So we're going to run over there, and I'm going to update you on these guys. Let's expand this. All right. So on Virtuals is at 55 cents. It's pretty stable, pretty much where it was. Pretty much where it was the first time we hopped in here. Arrow is around the same thing. They're trading in pretty much the same zone. Now, this token Deep Tide is up 9% over the last 24. But I think overall, since we've been tracking it, it's down slightly. Apes Everything is down. Micro Shark is up. Moolah is up. Now, this guy I think is going to be a sleeper, right? I reached out to the dev on Moda, but I did not reach out to the dev on this token Moolah. If I'm not mistaken, we audited their contract live on one of the previous streams. So go take a look at Moolah. Let's pull up the chart right now. And a lot of people are adding liquidity. So remember when we saw this spike, if you were here with me last week, we saw this spike, and I was like, listen, don't buy at the top. All right? It's just not smart. You don't want to start buying these things at the top. So look at this. I mean, I think we have a gem. It dropped slightly from the top, dipped a little bit more, but right here is a good position at 0.16 cents. That was a good buy. And from here, I think it's gonna go up. Like, I'll add the tools to this when I'm offline, so that I can give you a little bit better projection on this guy. And yeah, man, I think Moolah might be a holder. So I'm definitely going to stop by their Telegram. I'm going to stop by their Discord. I'm going to reach out to the developer, and see what's up. I mean, if they're serious about it, hey, we'll track this on a weekly basis, and hopefully everybody that's following us can make a little money. Now over here on Asteroid is up, but that's after this vicious sell-off. It's like every time Astro gets to 0.0014, there's a sell-off. So maybe that's the cycle. Once it gets to 0.0014 or 13, maybe that's the time to sell, because it's trading pretty steady, and that's pretty significant profit or loss if you held it. But we go back to its history, and you can see here, spiked up, same point, spiked up, same point, sell off. So this I think this will be, if you want to set it and forget it on Astro, you should set it at 0.0014. That should be your sell point, and walk away with profit, man. And your entry point, look here, we got this wick to the bottom. Ah, that was a gift. Look at that. That was a gift. Now it's going to drop to 0.00068. That seems like the bottom. Seems like the bottom is in. Oh yeah, we're going. This is pretty consistent. Pretty consistent. So that appears to be the bottom, at least for now. So it looks like you can set your watch by Asteroid, and it's gonna have basically the same performance, which is a good thing. That's one of the things that you look for. And over the last 24 hours, it's up 13%. Over the last hour, it's up 6.9%. That's one of the things that you look for in these younger tokens. Now we're gonna hop over to. This was, I think, the last token that we added on Robinhood, and that was Lil Uni. So Lil Uni has been doing his thing, right? So the peak was 0.006. Right now we're at 0.00. What is that? 0015. That's pretty solid. That was a 1, 2, 3. That was about a 3x, 3 to 4x, this move right here. So that's pretty solid on Lil Uni. Up 100% over the last 24, up 3% over the last hour. So that's significant. So we're gonna keep Lil Uni on here, and we're gonna watch it. As far as our Robinhood chain tokens, now initially when all the hype was in on Robinhood chain, we had a lot of tokens that were going absolutely bonkers on Robinhood chain. Now it's kind of slowing down, and we're seeing a lot of these tokens on Robinhood chain pull back. But this one seems to be holding pretty steady because, like I mentioned last week, we're starting to see some of the same patterns. Some of the same patterns that we were seeing over on Solana, we're starting to see those same patterns over here on Robinhood chain. So I don't know if all the degens have just migrated from I don't know if all the degens have just migrated from Solana over to Robinhood chain, and now they're bringing basically the same trading patterns. Because whenever I jump on Robinhood, yeah, it's like a rocky road these days. When initially in those first couple of weeks, it was going absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. This little uni might be a gem, so we're gonna keep that on here. Matter of fact, can I move these together? Let's see. See if we can put all the Robinhood tokens together over here, so we can track them. And then we'll go by chain. So we have a loss on Moda. We have a gain on Asteroid. We have a slight loss on Moolah, but over the week, Moolah is up. So everything we've added to this list is performing well. We haven't had anything bottom out. Remember, we've removed what was that token? MFers. We've removed MFers from the list. So since we did that, this list is performing well. Now, Kate, let's hop over to Solana. Now, Kate was going absolutely bonkers. Right now, the market cap is at 20 million. Higher than I thought it was. So for this to be a Solana token, and let's check the date on Kate. Let's check this date. All right, here's a spike on Kate. Kate spiked up to 8.4 cents. Yikes. And now we're sitting comfortably at 2.1 cents. On a Solana token, that's significant. I remember last year when I was trading, I was lucky enough to get in on Peanut. I think before Peanut even reached a penny last year. So that was a wild ride. And then right after Peanut, I was lucky enough to jump into, what was that? GameStop, or one of those other Solana tokens that transferred from ETH to Solana, and had pretty good returns on that. I think Kate may do the same thing. It seems pretty stable right now. But yeah, you just got to keep your eye on it. If you're trading anything on Solana, if you have any of these Solana tokens on your radar, just understand most Solana tokens, most of the meme coins are gonna be all over the place. That's just, it's just how it is. They are volatile, and that volatility, I don't know, some people look at that volatility as a feature. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable swing trading Solana tokens. I'm just gonna be honest. Now, if I'm trading a Solana token, I'm doing it as a sniper, in and out. So if you have a sniper bot, hey, Solana is built for you, because that's how you want to go in at points like this and out at points like this, and then just wait, because they always do this. That's what you can count on. and looks like it's gonna do a Kate might do numbers today. It's down 7% over the last for today. It's down 6.7 over the last hour. You're never gonna hear me, not in this current environment, give you financial advice to jump in on Solana token with both feet. It's just not gonna happen. I'm not gonna do it. Nah, I consider that reckless. So if you do want to trade it, be careful, know what you're getting into, and do your best to watch it like a hawk. I mean, I can't sugarcoat it. Just watch it like a hawk. If you think it's gonna do numbers like at least like a 4 or 5x, and you've made it through that first, if you made it through that first week, because that first week on Solana is tough. That's usually when you see if a token is going to run or not. Usually within that first week. If it can last past the first week, you might have a gem on your hands. Now, I was looking the other day. I saw some bad news for one Solana project that I was in a while ago, but I jumped out. Man, look that fast. Kate just dropped another 3% that fast. This happened live. What the hell? We had 1,500 sell. All right, so that's what just happened. That's why we lost that 3%. We have some buys in here, but we have some pretty big sales. How many Solana is that? That's 6 Solana, 14 Solana, 13 Solana, 2 Solana, 2 Solana, 2. Yeah, Kate is going through it today. I guess people are taking profit. So not a good time to jump in. They're selling off. And yeah, just wait it out. The lowest I think Kate will drop to is 0.13. So a penny, about a penny and a half. Yeah, about a penny and a half would be a good price to pick up Kate today. But that means it's going to continue dropping, and I think it is. Now, for profit today, it looks like Astro is your guy. Astro is coming off of this bounce, and it's up 13% over the last 24. Moolah is at 1.7, which is nice. Now, these three tokens, Moda, Asteroid, and Moolah, are all on Binance, BSC. If you want to jump into these, I would say, hey, have at it, let it rip. It seems as though Astro and Moolah are pretty stable. Moolah needs more transactions. I'll give them that. So let me make a note for myself right now while I'm thinking about it, because I'm going to reach out to the dev today. Just for you guys, I'm reaching out to the dev today. See how serious he is about the project. Because when you look at the tokenomics, let's see. Yeah, and Moolah has been traded for a year and 2 months. So this is fairly stable. Now they could use a bit of exposure, so I'll mention that to the dev. Let me go ahead and give him a rocket. And boom. Remember, this is one of the most important steps. Your block explorers. Moolah has 41,000 holders. Yeah, and they're trading it. People are trading it. But only 41,000 holders. But the most important part of this is the fact that we can get the contract right here, pop it over in our systems, and let it rip. See what our threats are. So let's check this out. Let's start our back end up. Let's start the back end up on one of our systems, just in case. But this, man, you had caught that rip. You normally don't see a spike like this in a token that's already a year old. That's uncommon, but it's a good thing. All right, that's one of our systems we have running now. Let's start up it's Titan Alpha. So on BSC, on Binance, we have Moolah and Asteroid that are looking good. Moda, we're gonna wait and see on Moda. SDR is over on Robinhood, not performing well at all. Last stream, they were sitting about right here last stream, so they were on a rip. But since then, they're down about, I don't know, what's that, about 30-40%? Yeah, that's pretty significant. Whereas they're going in the opposite direction of Lil Uni. Lil Uni is taking off. SZR is in the gutter right now. Apes Together is, yeah, this looks like a death spiral. So, yeah, we're going to have to wait for a big candle. Maybe it'll consolidate right here. Maybe it'll consolidate here. But that type of move, you just want to wait on. So don't hop into this one. Deep Tide. Now, Deep Tide is on XRP. When we looked at it initially, it's up. I mean, it's up 10% today. But since we looked at it previously, yeah, it's really been moving. We had this spike, and there are so many decimals on this. I'm not going through all that. I'm not going to read out the exact price. There's just so many decimals. But it's on XRP. Only 7,000 in volume. Now, when it comes to XRP, one of the things you have to keep in mind is XRP has a lot less volume than BNB chain, a lot less than Solana, a lot less than who else? Hyperliquid. So the tokens are going to move a little bit slower. So you have to be more patient when you're trading on XRP. But there are some good projects over there. And remember, this was the only XRP token that we added to our watch list. And voila, it's in profit. So to me, that's a positive for Deep Tide. And like I said, it was the first token that we picked out and that we started tracking on XRP. That is a positive for the chain overall. I mean, if the first token you pick ends up performing well, that's a good sign. We didn't have to hunt for the absolute We didn't have to hunt for the absolute best token. So that's good overall. Now let's see up here. Army. A lot of these XRP tokens are down. But one of the reasons it's down is because overall the protocol, the price for XRP itself is down. Remember, we looked at it over on CoinMarketCap, and we saw it sitting at what, 102, and previously we were looking at the chart, it was 106, 107, kind of staying in that range. But while everything else is spiking, XRP is really taking a hit. So in this, you got BTC and normally when you see BTC in the profit for the week, almost everything is going to be in the profit for the week. However, XRP down 5%, Hyperliquid down 0.07%. I think what that reflects is the new competition, Robinhood, coming into play, because Hyperliquid was on fire, right? From the beginning of the year. It's been one of the best performing chains from the beginning of the year. But it's fallen off over the last, since July came in. Robinhood launched at the beginning of July. And since then, this has been on a downturn. You can look at it right here. Look at that. That's not what you want to see. Dogecoin skip. I hate Dogecoin. That's just me. Now this guy, Tron. You ever had a token that you wish you had invested more in? That's how I feel about Tron, man. I wish I had invested more in Tron, and that's going to be a regret because I went against my own rules. It's an entire blockchain, and being that it's an entire blockchain, I put a little bit more weight behind it. And because when you invest in an entire blockchain, you tend to get those 10x's with the blockchain before you get it with the coin. Reason being, a lot of developers like myself, well, like our team, we're going over there. We're building apps. We're building apps. We're launching tokens. All of these things help build the ecosystem. Whenever you have an ecosystem, boom, you have the chance to go parabolic. So put that feather in your cap. Keep it. Remember, blockchains, any token that has its own chain is most likely going to do well. Remember that one. That's why I love Sui. I love hate this guy. I love Sui. I like Cardano. My only problem with Cardano is the supply. They have the supply is 45 billion with a B. So that's my only problem with ADA. And ADA is Cardano. My only problem is the token supply. 45 billion is a lot. So it'll take a lot to move this guy. Now, let's look at XRP's token. XRP has 100, right? All right. Remember, my problem with ADA was the fact that ADA has 40-something billion. XRP has 100 billion tokens. So when you have that many tokens, it kind of caps what you're gonna do, kind of caps where you're gonna go. That's just it. And that's why I absolutely love Monero with 45 Here we go. Monero with 18 million, only 18 million tokens in Monero. Let that sink in. 18 million tokens. And Zcash, just like Bitcoin, 21 million. So keep that in mind. The only downside to those guys is they are not entire blockchains. That's the only downside to Monero and Zcash. They are privacy coins, so they have a use. They're very important to crypto, but that one downside is that they're not a blockchain. People aren't going over there launching, tons of stuff on top of it. So it's pretty much capped at how well it's going to perform from that aspect. But the veterans in crypto will always use Zcash and Monero. So keep those on your radar. As a matter of fact, pin them. Pin both of those tokens and watch them. And let's go back to it one more time. Now this is disappointing, but I saw it coming. Pin, Monero, and Zcash. We're going to come back and we're going to look at it next week. We're going to look at it Wednesday also. But look at these charts, man. And again, remember, if you had bought Zcash at this exact time last year, 10x, safely, you'd be up 10x, safely. If you had bought Zcash this exact time last year. Monero, pretty much the same bucket. And that's without trading any meme coins, any of that. These are just blue chips. So you are able to get huge profits with blue chips. It just takes a little bit longer, and you have to make sure they're on the right trajectory. And anytime you have a token that has use, boom, you're winning. That's why people still buy Solana, even though it trades like a meme coin, like one of the biggest tokens on chain, but it trades like a meme coin. But one of the reasons people trade it, one of the reasons people buy Solana is because there's so much activity on Solana. XLM, Stellar. Now Stellar is similar to ADA. They're pretty much the same, but Stellar is a little bit cheaper at 16 cents. ADA at 19.4. So lock those in. We're going to track them. Let me go ahead and do a screenshot so we can revisit these prices next week. Next week when we come on stream, we're going to look at these exact prices. We're going to look at these tokens. We're going to see what's been hot, what's not. And yeah, man. So the profit on these are going to be a little bit slower than these guys. Now these guys you can make a 10x a little bit faster, only because they're newer and there's a lot more room to grow, but there's also a lot more room to lose. So balance, like everything in life. Now I didn't cover. That was, I went on about. I stayed too long on that. We went over Deep Tide, which is a really good XRP token. Now we're going to go back to our base tokens that we've been tracking. Now we were tracking Virtual, we were tracking Arrow. Now remember, Virtual's big protocol on base, so they get traffic. have a lot of transactions. This is a pretty safe investment, just like Arrow. Arrow gets a ton of traffic. So let's go over here to our screener, and I'm going to show you exactly what happens. All right, let's go to our screener. Let's pick our chain. Right now we're looking at Solana and Robinhood are up here in the top 10, top 20, because that's where the majority of the volume is. Number one on Solana right now is Toads. Toads launched a day ago. And look at that guy. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Alright. Hopefully for the holders, this doesn't fall off a cliff. But it's been traded for a day. If you want to go over there and take a look at it, do. Let's go back. Now we're gonna. Where is our blockchain? There we go. Robinhood chain. Base. Here we are. All right, base. And when you look at base, just like we were just seeing, we have virtuals right here in the top. Market cap 556 million. So it's stable and it moves. So that's a huge positive for virtuals. Solana on base, really. And it's being traded on Aerodome. So virtuals is one of the biggest protocols on base, and the exchange that you're gonna buy virtuals on is Arrow. So right away, that lets you know Arrow is a solid hold on base, just like virtuals. Virtuals is sitting at 55 cents, and here we go up here. The number one DEX, see where it says all DEXs. Number one up here, Aerodome. So anytime you want to make a pretty stable profit, you can look at any chain that has its own blockchain, any protocol that has its own blockchain, any token. That's a pretty good investment. And if it's an exchange, exchanges have transactions all day long, right? And they're taking profit off of every single transaction. So protocols like Jupiter over on Solana, protocols like Aerodome over here on base. As far as Binance, I think the biggest one is PancakeSwap and Aster. So PancakeSwap and Aster are pretty good long-term projects. And in the past, PancakeSwap was trading at, let's just go look at it. No need to guess. Let's go look at it. PancakeSwap was trading for a while at 25 plus, which is significant. And recently, though, I think PancakeSwap and Aster are pretty much hand in hand, right? I think the team from PancakeSwap launched Aster, and Aster seems to be where all the perpetual trades are made on PancakeSwap. Now, you can completely ignore this SpaceX coin. There are so many of these that have been launched over the last few weeks. SpaceX coin. This one is only 7 hours old. I think I bought one of those like weeks ago. So they're just launching these whenever they feel like it. Now this guy, we were tracking Oli at one point. Let's see what this guy has been doing. Yikes. You never want to see a chart look like this. All right. Oli is free falling. Right now it's at 230. Market cap is at 140 million. So it's not that bad. Spiked up to $2.42. I mean, the price has been recently has been pretty consistent. But look at that. As soon as we had that spike up to 248, boom, 231. But there's a ton of liquidity in here, and I don't think this guy is going anywhere. Down 7% over the last 24. Slightly over the last 5 minutes. That's pretty stable. Let's hop back over to base and let's see what's new on base. Halo. All right. Sitting at 45 million. Halo is 45 million. Fully diluted value. Let's go look at this block explorer. All right, we have 1 billion tokens, 327 holders. Yikes. All right, this might be a red flag. This might be a token that we need to do a security scan on. 99.97 top 100 concentration. Never good. Never good. Whale concentration. 99.90 whale concentration. Never good. And one of the reasons why it's not good is the fact that we only have 327 holders. If there were like 3,000, 30,000 holders, then I would say, this isn't that bad. But with 300 holders, this is a problem. But those holders seem to be active. And wow. The high point seems to be 6 cents, almost 7 cents. Right now we're trading at 4 cents. So I don't know. Let's keep an eye on this guy. Look at this. Quick intel. Mintable. So that probably means they can print more tokens. And this one means ownership renounced. Okay. For you guys that have been watching me do security scans, this is important. You need to look at these two details. On Ghost Security, it says ownership renounced. Now, that's not really a problem if your code is solid and there's nothing in there that can be manipulated. If you don't have any math problems in the contract, then there's nothing wrong with relinquishing ownership. Now, if there's anything wrong with this contract, then this is a real problem. So what I'm going to do, we're going to scan this contract and we're going to see for ourselves what's going on with this guy. All right, let's pull up that contract again. Let's get the code. Copy. We're going to come over here to Titan. This is base. All right. It's not that bad. 87 is 87 is pretty solid. Yeah, missing access control. Okay, yeah, that's all right. So the high risk is they create a great contract. So when you have a contract that's pretty stable, a lot of times a developer will relinquish control of the contract, but that also means if any problems occur, you just have to deal with it. And launching a new contract is a headache, more headache than I would want to deal with. So this is actually pretty solid. So we'll add Halo to the watch list, and that's over on base. And we'll watch this guy and see what happens. Maybe it'll return to all-time high. I think it will. I think it will. But it's still young, so let's see. Let's give it a few days. Pair created 6 days ago. So yeah, let's give this guy a little time. The dev doesn't have control of the contract, so we'll see what happens. Now, let's pull our list back up. And here's Halo. All right, let's move Halo up the list to where base is. And here's our virtuals. Here's Arrow. Arrow. And like I said, Arrow's an exchange, so there are going to be a lot of transactions. And virtuals is number one on base. Somebody just put in a pretty big sale. No, several sales. But that's not bad. Dropped a little bit. For the day, it's only down 1%. So for a token with the cap this big, you can't complain about that. 550 million cap. When you have a consistent trading pattern like this, it's not bad. I wouldn't complain at all. Yeah, it is what it is. Somebody took profit. That happens. Okay, but that's it for base. Let's look at one last thing. Let's pull up XRP. All right, so here we are, XRP. And there's our guy in the number one position, deep tide. Wow, that's a shocker. Deep tide is in the number one position on XRP. Last 24 hours up 15%. Last 6 hours up 7%. Last hour up 6%. So if you have XRP, if you're trading XRP right now, you want the number one token on XRP. Well, it's the one we've been tracking. Deep tide. Jump in and get it. It's at a low price. $100 traders right now. And if you look at the other XRP tokens, it's just the volume is a lot lower. Over the last 24 hours, XRP has only had 58,700 transactions. Volume 3.1 million. 3.1 million in volume over the last 24 for XRP. And remember, we compared this to Robinhood. Here's the numbers for Robinhood. 3 million for XRP. 24-hour volume for Robinhood. 672 million. Different weight class. It's only a month old, and yeah, it's doing numbers. What? Licking cat? Where did they come up with some of these names? So right now, the number 2 token on what is that? Uniswap? Yeah, the number 2 token on Robinhood being traded on Uniswap is Licking Cat. World Licking Cat. I don't even know what to say about that. Like, you tell me. I don't even know what to say about that. What's going on, man? What's going on? What's up with these names? I need somebody from Robinhood to tell me what's going on, because this is crazy. Licking Cat. Number 1, and that was launched 10 hours ago, so be careful. Now, number 1, I think this is number 1 over the last 24, is back on Robinhood. Your bag. It's running. That is impressive. Okay. 133K market cap. 47K in liquidity. A lot of people chimed in. So I should have waited before I gave it a thumbs up. All right, the quick scans, don't see a problem with it, but we always do our own scans. Hey, what's up, chat? Oh man, that's tough. That's tough. Bro, you have to be careful on Solana, man. Really be careful when you're trading on Solana. Listen, I have horror stories from trading on Solana. I mean, I was lucky enough to get into a couple of good tokens last year. This year, not so much. I have horror stories from Solana. Everything trades at a different speed. It's almost like when you see things on Solana, and you get comfortable like you do on other chains. For instance, like the ones we were looking at. All right, so here's the page for your bag. I'm gonna bookmark this, and we're gonna do an audit. We're gonna do an audit on this contract, and I'm gonna let you guys know there are 666 holders, 13,000 transfers. So I'm gonna let you guys know how this audit comes out. Yeah, we're gonna scan that, let you know how the audit comes out. But right here, this is a nice looking chart. So we're gonna put this guy on the radar. And we're gonna track it. I'm gonna update you guys on the next stream. So now we're tracking 4. We're tracking 4 Robinhood tokens. We're tracking BAG. We're tracking SZR. Now we're tracking Lil Uni. Remember, Lil Uni, I love Lil Uni. BAG is up 249% over the last 24 hours, up 5% over the last hour. So this is BAG. BAG is looking good, but be careful. All right, down 37%, which is boom from the top. It hit the top, came down. So as can't be mad about that. Now, if it gets back in this territory down here, that's when you need to worry. So right now, it looks like we're going to bounce. So keep your eye on this guy. We're going to see what it looks like in a day or two. You're right. That is a bad number. That means somebody needs to go, somebody needs to sell or buy real quick. Next week, we're going to take one of these guys out of our list, either SZR or Apes. But we're going to pull one of those guys out of our list because they're just falling off. On our BSC list, we're going to keep Moolah in there. We're going to keep Asteroid in there. Maybe next week, we'll add a new BSC token to the list. Over on Kate. Kate is down under. You know, I said if you get Kate, let it be at 1.5 cents. And it seems like it's on its way there. How much do I usually invest in these coins? Well, back in the day, I used to invest a lot because I had a lot of crypto. These days, I usually, you know, put a few dollars in there just to see where it is. Kind of like a placeholder so that I can judge, you know, if it's going up or down. If it's going up or down. But once I see that it's stable, what I like to do is I like to jump in and trade it. For instance, if I find one of these guys kind of like I would say Moolah or something like Moolah or Halo or Deep Tide. Deep Tide is something that I would maybe put anywhere from 500 to 1K in. And the reason why is because it's proven that it's stable now. So once the token proves that it's stable, and you're one of the first people to get in before they're like 30, 40,000 people trading it, you could take that 1,000, only trade that specific token, and I would say in a month or two, just by swing trading that token, that's you can get 100x, 200x. Like I've done it quite a few times back when I used to trade on BNB on a daily basis. But I don't trade as much as I used to because we're doing the security, because we have subscribers to our apps. So I have a lot of info that I have to get out to subscribers every day. I have to do videos, I have to edit videos. And then on top of that, we're in talks with a lot of blockchain companies about audits. So we have so much that we're on right now that it pulls a lot of time away from trading. But if I really, really wanted to get to 1 million, what I would do is I would find something similar to Deep Tide. I would find something similar to Deep Tide or Halo or BAG or Moolah, meaning it hasn't been on chain for a long time. There aren't too many traders. Now, when you jump in with that 500 to, yeah, it only takes one BNB. Now, the first time that I made 1 million, lost every penny of it, by the way. The first time that I made $1 million trading, I did it with 2 BNB. At the time, BNB was $300, and then BNB spiked. But I took that, and what I did, I traded it every single day. I didn't trade a bunch of tokens. I found something that was consistent. I found something that was moving, and I just kept getting higher and higher in the token count. So I went from the bottom all the way up to the front page. So when you go to tokens like this is what I call the front page. These are the top 25 traders. So these are the guys who have the money. Now, most of the people on this, they're going to be exchanges. So a lot of these top wallets, they're exchanges. Where you see the 20%, this is probably the dev. Both of these are probably big exchanges. My goal used to be to always be on this page. If you're on this page, you have a higher chance of getting to $1 million. But it's timing, it's patience, and don't sleep. Don't sleep. I mean, if you're in it, you're in it, right? You're not going to get 100% every day. You're not going to make crazy money every day. It's the fact that the token is consistent. That's the most valuable thing to you. And if the token is consistent, at that point, you're just pitting yourself against the other traders in the token. And I like my chances. That's why you see all these tools on our trading view chart. All I do is track where these tokens are going. So I would say number one, make sure that it's safe. Because this is where Solana has screwed me over. Like, I put 1,000 in Solana tokens and boom, it's gone. In 2 or 3 days, it's gone. But that's where maximum attention. If you're putting more than 1K into a token, go ahead and swing trade it, man. Pull out that chart. Sell at the top. When it spikes, sell it. Don't feel bad about selling it. The price is going to go down. Sell it and take profit when it spikes. When it goes down low, buy back in. And you can do that over and over again. And if you do that on something like, even like Kate is sitting at 18 million market cap. Right now, it's too high to pull that off. You really want to pull something like that off when the market cap is under 1 million. If you can find a market cap that's under 1 million, the dev isn't going to run away. Then you have the opportunity to make a ton of money. But it's maximum attention. If you have swing trading bots, use the swing trading bots. If you're good with charts, use the charts. If you have trading view, use the trading view tools. So these are some of our trading view tools that are part of Oracle on Chain, and we use these to predict the token prices. Now, once everything kind of balances out, and we get to a point where, you know, the other devs are doing a lot of audits and everything, and I have more time on my hand, we are absolutely going to run it up. And I'm going to share that with all you guys, because I'll have the time to specifically focus on getting to specific price points. Now, and every time, and I'll say this, every time in a token, back in the day, not now, back in the day, but back in the day, every time that I made over 100K on a token, it was because I spoke with the developer. Do not forget, reach out to the developer, talk to the developer, see how serious he is about the project. If he's serious about the project and it's not going anywhere, ride it out, man. Ride it out. Just get in there and trade every day. It's going to sell off sometime. You're going to be the one selling off. Facts. You're going to be the one selling off. You're going to sell off. But then once it gets to the bottom, boom, you're going to go right back in. A lot of these projects start out small, and as they grow, the community is going to grow. So you're going to know who's in there taking profit. You're going to know who's in there. You're going to know who's in there swing trading and everything. But like I mentioned earlier in this stream, I'm going to go talk to a couple of these developers. So what does that tell you? If I've already said I'm going to go speak to the developer, that should tell you right away, I'm looking to invest in this project seriously. Because I'm not just gonna throw money away. Not in this economy. Hell no. I'm gonna wait for the right opportunity. When the right opportunity is here, strike like a cobra and be consistent. Be there every day. When your eyes open, get on it. Why? That's your paycheck. And after doing that for a month, you're gonna be one of the top traders in the token. I cannot stress this enough. Do not be afraid to just go talk to the dev. A lot of these guys are just regular guys, just like me. They're just regular guys. Now, they can't control a lot of the things, like a lot of the people selling or whatever. But just ask them. Just be like, hey, what are the plans for the token? What are we going to do? How are we going to get here? What are we doing about the marketing or whatever? And I'm going to go out on a limb and tell you, a lot of times in those tokens where we got to 100K for one wallet, I paid for marketing. I didn't say a damn thing to the developer. I went in and paid for marketing. But at the time, I had a massive bankroll and I could do that. Right now, I can't do that. Solana destroyed me. So I can't do that right now. Maybe in like another 3-4 months, we'll be able to pull a move off like that. But I wouldn't even speak to the developer. Well, I would speak to him, but if he couldn't afford the marketing, boom, I go pay for the marketing. Why? Once you're on this page, you should be zoomed in. You should be focused on this token doing well. And if everybody thought like that, tokens would grow more organically. But it's just that a lot of people set it and forget it. If you get on the first page of a token, pay for marketing. Why are you asking the developer? If the token makes money, you're going to make money. You're on the first page. If the token gets to a 10 million market cap, that means being here. If the token has a 10 million market cap and you're here on the front page, you're rich already. Now let that sink in. You're rich already. But it has to be a project where you're not going to get rug pulled. Because I've had my biggest loss ever in crypto. My biggest loss ever. I got hired by a project to come in and build and got rug pulled for millions. That's my fault. Because I went in too hot, too heavy. Right? I don't think I will ever, in my life, ever invest $1 million into anything. Ever again. I went in too hot, too heavy. But the reason I had that level of trust is because they hired me to do something. So you're going to trust your boss. I just didn't think they would run off with the whole bag. It was just a terrible situation. Now, I wish I could, man. I've been destroyed. Absolutely destroyed. What I would say is even if you have $100, and this is the truth. The first time I went on a run where I got to $1 million, I started it with my last paycheck from my job. It was my last paycheck. I bought 2 BNB. It doesn't take much, bro. You just have to be focused on what you're doing and consistent with what you're doing. Like, that's really it. Be focused, be consistent. You don't have to have, yes, you can get in a better position. Let's say if you got 3,000. Yeah, you'll be on, you could be in the top 100. But you can also do that by trading. It's just that every time when you trade, walk away with profit. The lower the amount, you just can't take risks. I mean, not take risks, you can't take losses. When you have a small amount, you can't take losses. That's just that. But I did a challenge not too long ago where I turned $100 to 1,000. Now that takes intense focus. That takes all your attention. I'm not gonna kid you. It's not easy. It takes all your focus, all your attention. That has to be the only thing you're working on. If you're doing anything else, you're probably gonna mess up. Because, like I said, once you having a small amount like that, maximum attention. This is a market where people are smart, and a lot of people are taking profit as they see it. When they see profit, boom, they go take it. So remember that. I think right now, if you have half a BNB, you could easily turn half a BNB into whatever you want. It just has to be the right opportunity. It can't be someone that's going to rug pull you. There have to be traders, consistent traders. And yeah, let that be the only thing you're doing. Don't look at any other tokens. Don't try to trade any other tokens. Maximum attention on that one token. Listen, you've already done it. You've already done it, bro. So if you made 12K, if you made 12K on Shiba, this is what you have to do. You can't do that now. Like, mathematically, you're not going to do that now. It's just not the environment. That's one of the reasons that we're looking at. That's one of the reasons we're looking at these tokens over here on Dex Screener. With these tokens, you can do it because they're only. Let's go to Robinhood Chain. For instance, BAG is only 1 day old. There are 900 traders. If the developer for BAG is legit, this can make you rich. There are only 900 traders. It's on day one. It hasn't bottomed out. It's pretty good. The market cap is at 135. This is a token that can absolutely make you rich if they're not bullshitting. The problem is, in this market, there are so many developers that are bullshitting. They're rugging people. If you can avoid rug pulls, there's no stopping you. My biggest thing has been the rug pulls. Like, I'll be in a token trading, I'll get profits locked in, and I'll trust that it's going to be there tomorrow. I wake up tomorrow and it's gone. That's one of the reasons I hate Solana. Because Solana's done it to me over and over again. So now I'm like, the hell with Solana. Let's find other protocols that we can trade consistently. The main thing is consistency. You want that developer to keep pushing the token, keep bringing new people in, keep trading. As long as people are trading, taking profit, coming back in. What you don't want is people to take profit and then just run off. Every developer wants people, if you're going to take profit, boom, come back in. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you take profit and you dip, that's how a project gets killed, right? You gotta just rinse and repeat. Once you learn to rinse and repeat, and that these things move in a cycle, hey, that's the best situation you can be in. Now, if you look at let's say CashCat, which has and this is CashCat that launched back when the chain launched. right now the market cap is 149 million. We're going to go look at the wallets right now. Robinhood really needs to work on this too. They're probably the worst at this. Okay, this is CashCat. Right now, they have 300,000 holders. See, this is too high. You're not gonna do the 1000x. Once there are 300,000 other people, you need to look at it as me against everyone else. If there are 300,000 people that you're gonna compete with, not good odds. I would rather compete with 3,000-4,000 people. That's the race I can win. This is going to be much more difficult. Why? Because there are two things working against you. It's a lot more people and a lot more capital. And if you're starting with low capital, then, I mean, it just is what it is. But this is a look at CashCat. It's been around for a month. Now, this CashCat can still make you a lot of money, right? Because the cap is at 150 million. A 10x would be 1.5 billion, and I think that's possible. So I think this CashCat can still 10x, but you have to remember, everybody that's made money with this is really already rich. This is why I didn't want to buy SpaceX, because SpaceX was what, $135, and that's overvalued. So that's why I had my price target for SpaceX $50. $50, because it's gonna happen, because tokens are being unlocked and people aren't expecting it. Now, this token has good volume. There are a lot of articles about it. Everybody's talking about it. So CashCat is gonna do well. And what happens with these tokens is, once they're put on bigger and bigger chains, there's an explosion. Once it's added to Binance, once it's added to KuCoin, once it's added to OKX, all of these are going to bump that price up. So our goal with the tokens that we launch is to make it to some of the bigger exchanges. When it gets to the bigger exchanges, you have people that are day trading, constantly trading, much bigger audience. They're not trading on DEXs, they're trading on CEXs, centralized exchanges. So it's just different, right? The volume picks up, the holder count picks up. But CashCat is already on a lot of big exchanges, so they've already gotten that bump, which is why right now they're sitting at 151 million. And look, it's 15 cents. Price is 15 cents. It could easily make it to $1.50. I don't see that being a problem. And for the last 24 hours, we're all green. Consistent, all green. So you can make profit in this. It's just that you have to keep in mind how much you're starting with on the token that you're trading. The lower the amount, the more you need to be focused. All right, so that's gonna do it for this one. Went a little bit over, but appreciate you, Cool Namer, for filling up the chat, and thank you guys for stopping by. Now on the next stream, On the next stream, we're gonna update a few of these guys. We're gonna update our list. We're gonna tap in to BSC because I think there's still a lot of value on BSC. We're gonna tap into Robinhood. We're gonna tap back into Base, and we're gonna jump into Ethereum. We may do 1 or 2 Ethereum tokens on the next stream. Because Ethereum is the granddaddy. So we're going to hop over there. We're going to see what's moving. And remember, be safe. If you're trading, watch your money. Rug pulls are everywhere. Everybody's doing them. And our job is to keep you safe. That's why we do security. That's why we scan contracts. We're trying to keep you safe from the guys that are trying to take everything. Why? I've already been there. So don't make the mistakes I've made, trying to put you on a different path so that you and your family are good. Because with the tools that we built, it just takes consistency. We're going to be good. Don't worry about us. We lost a lot, but we have the tools to make it back. It's just a matter of being consistent and a matter of just showing up to work every day, man. That's really what it's going to boil down to. Showing up to work with the right tools and getting to work. And here, we're going to try to keep the right tools in your hands so that you can make the best decision for your trades. All right? We don't want anybody out there getting in the road pulls. So we're going to scan. Matter of fact, tonight, every token that we covered in this stream, I'm going to do an individual security check. And the ones that we're serious about, I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you right here in the chat. Now, if I have a developer that says bag is up another 100%. This thing is moving. No. That's about, it went from, what was that, 240% to like 300. So not bad. And Low Uni is up 100% for the last 24. So profit is out there. Don't be discouraged. Stay away from Solana. That's what I'm trying to my best to do. Stay away from Solana. Try to get used to trading on Ethereum, BSC, Robinhood, Base. The problem with these chains, you have to know if the contract is good. But like the video, I want you to share the video, hype this video up. Use those hypes in your account, man. Use the hypes. And we're going to catch you on the next stream. And on the next stream, we're going to update this list. I think we got a few sleepers on this list that are going to surprise people. And I'm going to reach out to the developers. All right? And every token that we, whenever we scan a token for a developer, we're going to invest in it. So there's that. There's that too. So as we work, we're going to work. Spread what we're doing. If you're in a token and you know your developer, I don't care if he's had one scan before. I don't care who scanned it, even Surtech. We bring different tools to the table. We have something called real-time threat monitoring, where we can monitor your token in real time for any type of threat. We have that along with a comprehensive scan that's much deeper than any of the protocols out there. That's what we're doing at Oracle on Chain. We're moving behind the scenes, but we're moving. All right. we're talking to a lot of people behind the scenes. So this is our year. 2027 is going to be even bigger. And I appreciate y'all stopping by. That's it. I'm Pix, and I'm out.